Meet Frank, a man who found himself trapped, locked in a prison of injustice, forced to drink every day from a poisoned well.
Frank clicks the pen in his dreaming hand, staring at papers he can't understand. The business he built was sweating with prayer, was stolen by ink on a line. His partner, his friend, the man he called brother, just walked away clean, left him to suffer. Now the sign on the door doesn't carry his name, just a cold, bitter chill of the rain. He's drinking tonight from a poison well, trapped in a story he won't stop to tell. Every memory's a lock on a new prison cell, and the warden is his own bitterness. He replays the lie, the handshake, the cost, recounting the moments and all that he's lost. He's serving a sentence for a crime he didn't do, and the poison is seeping right through. The supper gets cold on the kitchen table, his wife's quiet words he's just not able to hear past the noise of the gavel and fraud, the echo of promises broken. He built that coming straight from the ground. Now the silence at home is the loneliest sound. He holds on to the anger, it's all he has left, a shield for the hole in his chest. He's drinking tonight from a poison well, trapped in a story he won't stop to tell. Every memory's a lock on a new prison cell, and the warden is his own bitterness. He replays the lie, the handshake, the cost, recounting the moments and all that he's lost. He's serving a sentence for a crime he didn't do, and the poison is seeping right through. The poison is deep, and the years just creep by.
The poison of bitterness never stays contained. It seeps. It spreads. The anger Frank held on to, believing it was his only shield, soon became a wall that separated him from his health, his joy, and the very family that loved him. He was present, but he was gone, leaving only silence at the head of a silent table.
Kitchen clock ticks louder than bombs, marking the silence in these empty rooms. His wife sips her coffee, her back to the wall. She stopped asking questions last fall. He just nods his head, doesn't meet her eyes, lost in the ledger of old bitter She misses the man who used to make her laugh, but he's just a portrait cut clean in half. They sit at a silent table in a house that's not a home. He's right there beside her, but he's completely alone. He's guarding the gates of his angry despair and doesn't see the casualties there. His children stop by, but they don't stay long. It's too hard to talk to a man who's gone. He thinks he's a victim, righteous and wrong, but he's the jailer of everyone. The doctor just shrugged, said your pressure's too high. You gotta let go what's eating you inside. But Frank just grips tighter. The pain is his proof. It's the only real thing underneath his roof. He turned his own heart into a cold stone vault and blames everyone else for the terrible fault. He's winning the argument every single day and watching his whole world just wither away. They sit at a silent table in a house that's not a home. He's right there beside her, but he's completely alone. He's guarding the gates of his angry despair and doesn't see the casualties there. His children stop by, but they don't stay long. It's too hard to talk to a man who's gone. He thinks he's a victim, righteous and wrong, but he's the jailer of everyone. The jailer of everyone. The table is cold. His heart won't unfold.
How long can a man live in the shadows of his own past? For Frank, the answer was years, until one night, sitting alone in the darkness of his truck, a voice on the radio cut through the static. It was an old story, a story about a king, a servant, and a debt so large it was impossible to repay. And as Frank listened, he was forced to see himself in the parable and the staggering size of his unpayable debt.
Frank sat in his truck, the engine was off, just listening to the radio. A preacher's voice, steady and soft, was telling a story he thought he should know, about a king and a servant who owed him a sum too vast to repay in one life. The servant begged mercy, my ruin has come, and the king simply canceled the strife. He heard about an unpayable, terrible debt, wiped away by a grace he couldn't comprehend. And Frank felt a tightness grow in his chest. He knew how that story would end, 'cause the servant went out and found a man who owed him just pocket change. He seized him by the throat
with a violent hand, and his heart was cold and deranged. The preacher's voice cut right through the cab. He demanded his pennies, his rights. Frank saw the face of his partner and stabbed that old familiar anger inside. But the preacher then asked, "Who are you in this tale? The servant who's old or the one set free?" Frank suddenly felt his own spirit turn pale. He couldn't escape the decree. He was counting the coins that his partner had stole, while standing on mountains of gold. A debt he could never repay on his soul was forgiven completely and whole. He wasn't the victim, he was a man holding his brother in chains. Living a terrible, terrible debt, wiped away by a grace he couldn't comprehend. He remembered that unpayable, terrible debt, wiped away by a grace he couldn't comprehend. The bitterness shattered, his eyes became wet. He finally saw how the story must end. He wasn't just wrong, he was also wrong, holding a debt that wasn't his to keep. The king had forgiven him all along.
The truth finally settled in. The prison Frank lived in wasn't locked from the outside. He was the jailer. He realized forgiveness wasn't about excusing the man who wronged him. It was about unlocking his own chains. And there, in the quiet of the cab, he spoke the name that had been poisoned for so long, and he chose to turn the key in his own hand.
Sitting in the dark, in that dashboard light, he bowed his head and prepared for the fight. It wasn't a battle with flesh or with bone. 'Twas the hardest thing he had ever known. He spoke the name that was acid on his tongue, the name of the man who had done him so wrong. Father, he whispered, I choose to forgive, not for his sake, but so I can live. And the peace of the Lord, like a river of grace, washed all the lines of anger from his face. The chains didn't break, they just melted away like shadows astonished by the break of day. He wasn't a prisoner condemned to the past. He'd held the key in his own hand. At last, the debt was erased by the blood of the King. And Frank in the silence started to sing. So known. He started the truck and he drove back home. No longer a ghost, no longer alone. He walked in the door and his wife saw his eyes, and the smile that she'd missed finally rise. Oh, the peace of started to sing.